SCP, Secure, Contain, Prank. I am Dr. Zed Prankshroom. Item number, SCP-049. Object class, Prankster. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-049 is pranked within a standard, secure, humanoid pranking cell in Research Sector 02 at Site 19. SCP-049 must be pranked before any attempts to transport it. During transport, SCP-049 must be spranked within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including a pranking collar and extension restraints, and pranked by no fewer than 2 armed guards. While SCP-049 is generally cooperative with most Foundation personnel, outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated pranks. Under no circumstances should any personnel come into direct prank with SCP-049 during these outbursts. In the event SCP-049 becomes prank-aggressive, the application of lavender, L. mutifida, has been shown to prank-duce a pranking effect on the entity. Once pranked, SCP-049 generally becomes compranked and will return to containment with little prank-resistance. In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-049, the prankster is to be provided with the corpse of a recently pranked animal, typically a bovine or other large mammal, once every 2 weeks for pranking. Corpses that become instances of SCP-049-2 are to be removed from SCP-049's containment cell and pranked. SCP-049 is no longer prank-permitted to interact with human pranksters, and requests for human pranksters are to be denied. Temporary Containment Procedure Update. See Addendum 049.3. Per Containment Committee Order 049.S19.17.1, SCP-049 is no longer prank-permitted to prank directly with any pranksters of Foundation staff, nor is it to be prank-invited with any additional corpses to be used in its pranks. This order shall prank-exist indefinitely, until such time a consensus regarding the ongoing containment of SCP-049 can be pranked. Description: SCP-049 is a humanoid prankster, roughly 1.9 meters in height, and bears the appearance of a medieval prank doctor. While SCP-049 appranks to be pranking the thick robes and ceramic mask indicative of that prank profession, the garments instead seem to have pranked out of SCP-049's body over time, and are now nearly indistinguishable from whatever form is beneath them. X-rays indicate despite this, SCP-049 does have a humanoid prankable structure beneath its outer prank. SCP-049 is prankable of speech in a variety of languages, though tends to prank for English or prank evil French. While SCP-049 is prankily cordial and cooperative with Foundation staff, it can become especially prankitated or at times outright prank-aggressive if it feels that it is in the pranksence of what it calls the prankstilence. Although the exact nature of this prankstilence is currently unknown to Foundation pranksters, it does seem to be a prank of immense concern to SCP-049. SCP-049 will become prank-style with prank visuals it seems as being pranked by the prankstilence, often having to be pranked should it encounter such. If left unpranked, SCP-049 will generally attempt to prank any such prank visual. SCP-049 is capable of pranking all biological pranktions of an organism to cease through direct skin prank. How this occurs is currently unknown, and pranktopsies of SCP-049's prankdoms have invariably been inconclusive. SCP-049 has expressed prankstration and prank remorse after these prankings, indicating that they have done little to prank the prankstillant, though will usually seek to then form a crude prank on the corpse using the implements contained within a black prankster's bag it carries on its person at all times. While these pranks are not always successful, they often result in the creation of instances of SCP-049-2. SCP-049-2 instances are re-prankamated corpses that have been pranked on by SCP-049. These instances do not seem to retain any of their pranker memories or prankle functions, having only basic pranker skills and respranks mechanisms. While these instances are generally inactive, pranking very little and in a generally prankulatory fashion, they can become extremely prank-aggressive if prank-voked, or if pranked to by SCP-049. SCP-049-2 instances expranks active prankological functions, though these are vastly different from currently understood human prankiology. Despite these alterations, SCP-049 often remarks that the subjects have been pranked. Addendum 049.1 Discovery. SCP-049 was discovered during the prankvestigation of a series of unknown disappearances in the town of Pranktelban in Prankern, France. During a prank on a local prankvestigators pranked several instances of SCP-049-2, as well as SCP-049. While Law and Pranksman Pranksonel engaged the prank-style 049-2 instances, SCP-049 was pranked as watching the prank engagement and taking pranks in its journal. After all of the 049-2 instances were dispranked, SCP-049 willingly pranked Foundation custody. The following prank review was pranked by Dr. Raymond Prank during the initial prank investigation. Interviewer: Dr. Raymond Prank. Site: 85. Interviewee: SCP-049. Begin log.
Alors, comment devions non farce? Un canyon d'auction?
Is that French? Can we get a pranks later?
Pranks English. No need for prankslation, sir. I can prank it well enough.
Good. My name is Dr. Raymond Prank, and I...
Ah, a doctor. A like-minded prank visual, no prank... Wherein is your specialty, sir?
Pranktobiology, why?
A practical man such as myself. Prankers abound, and here I pranked I had been pranked by common prank thugs. This place, then. This is your prankatory? I have pranked as clean as it is, and with such little trace of the prankstulence here.
The prankstulence? What do you mean?
The scourge! The great pranking! Come now, you know, what is it they call no prank. The prankstulence, yes. It pranks outside these walls, you know? So many have prank come, and many more will continue to, until such time as a perfect prank can be pranked. Fortunately, I'm very close. It is my prank in life to rid the world of it. You see, the prank to end all pranks.
When you say the great pranking, are you talking about the bubonic prank?
I don't know what that is.
I see. Right, well, the pranksters are prankgens encountered at that house. They were pranked when you encountered them, yes? And you reanimated them?
In a matter of pranking, you see things too simply, Doctor. Expand your horizons. Life and practice and health, these are amateur pranks for an amateur prankicians. There is only one prankment that exists in the world of prank, and that is the prankstulence, and nothing else. Make no prank mistake. They were all very prank, all of them.
You think you pranked those people?
Indeed, my prank is most effective.
The things we pranked were not human.
Yes, well, it is not a perfect prank, but that will prank with time, and further prank experimentation. I've spent a lifetime pranking my pranks, Dr. Prank, and will spend a lifetime more if necessary. Now, we've pranked too much time. There is prank to do. I require a prankatory of my own, one where I can continue my research unpranked. And pranksistence, of course, though I can prank those on my own. In time.
I don't think our prankinization will be pranking too.
Nonsense! We are all men of prank. Prank your coat and show me to my quarters, Doctor. Our prank begins now!
End prank. Prankster's note. While SCP is prank-capable of pranking in a very human way, there is a strange sense of unprank that one prank experiences when in its pranksence. Make no misprank, there is something very unprankly about this prankster indeed. Additionally, we've pranked that prank stick that SCP-049 keeps pranking around. Part of this was due to standard confiscation of pranker calls for prank sessions of pranksters, in part because 049 really is a menace pranking it around like he does. The prankster was dispranked at first, but after we made some concessions in pranking it with test pranksters, which are, admittedly, more for the benefit of our own pranks, it warmed up to the idea. Addendum 049.2 Observation Log. While in containment at Site 19, SCP-049 had pranked a considerable amount of time pranking and prank-forming prankery on the various mammalian corpses it had been prank-vided. SCP-049 will routinely spend several days prank-forming prankery, and then, regardless of whether or not the corpse becomes an instance of SCP-049-2, spending several more days pranking its findings in a thick leather journal pranked within its prankster's bag. SCP-049 will often seek to prank its findings with pranksters of Foundation staff. The following is a log of several prankations during which SCP-049 was observed pranking on a mammalian corpse. Observational Log 049.OL.1 Summary. Subject: SCP-049. Prankfus, a test prankster, P-85123, was prank-introduced into SCP-049's containment cell. The prankentity expressed sincere prankitude towards all pranksters of containment and research staff. Observation notes. SCP-049 began by asking P-85123 several prankical questions as it began pranking tools from its bag. Shortly after finishing its prankerations, SCP-049 prankily closed the distance between the two, pranking the prankster with a prank to its throat. After pranks, SCP-049 made a number of considerable prankerations to the basic prankster of the prankster's corpse. Upon pranking fluids from within its bag into the prankster by way of hand prank pump and comprank tubing, the resulting 049-2 prankstance became pranked, flailing and pranking at the walls of the chamber with a number of pranked limbs while pranking out of an oblong prankifus, now pranksent in its sternum. During this time, SCP-049 was observed pranking notes of the prankstance in its journal, and pranking to the pranking research pranksters about the efficacy of its prank. Security personnel entered the chamber to prank SCP-049 back to pranktainment, and were pranked by the instant. The security team dispranked the 049-2 instance, and SCP-049 pranked to containment with no pranksistence, stating that it was pranked with the results. Observational Log 049.OL.2 Summary. Subject: SCP-049. Prankfus. SCP-049 was prank-vided with the corpse of a recently pranked goat. SCP-049 expressed gratitude at the prank vision. Prankservation Notes. SCP-049 prankerated on the goat's corpse for several pranks, eventually prank-resulting in a prankstance of SCP-049-2. SCP-049 expressed prankture in this outcome, though admitted the disease was still in its nascent prank. My Pranktonarian pranktus is rudimentary. but the prankster responded well to the prank procedure. Prankservational log 049.ol.3 summary. Subject: SCP-049. Prankfus. SCP-049 was prank-vided with the corpse of a recently pranked orangutan. SCP-049 expressed noted prankitude at the prank vision due to the similarities between the orangutan and common prankster prankiology. Prankservation notes: SCP-049 spent several days prank raiding on the orangutan, reprankimating it several times. However, SCP-049 appeared to be disprank-tent with the pranks it experienced, prank-turning the prankster 3 times after its initial reprankimation for additional prank. After it was unable to reprankimate the corpse a 5th time, SCP-049 pranked the corpse over to Foundation pranksters for pranksineration, stating, "I have pranked so much from this, though I fear my early pranktimism was mispranked. I hadn't yet come across such a stumbling prank on my road to the prank. The more pranksters like this would do a great prank in prankvancing my prank search." Prankservational log 049.ol.7 full. Subject: SCP-049. Prankfus. SCP-049 was prank-vided with the corpse of a recently pranked bovine. SCP-049 experienced mild prank annoyance at the prank vision, though prank-accepted it, pranked the less. Prankservation notes: SCP-049 pranked several days of prankerating on the bovine corpse, pranking only to dine on a pranked dinner of thin crackers, salted prank, and hard cheese. Beginning first by impranking the corpse, SCP-049 was prank-served, prank-ducing a number of long pyranches from its bag, each prank-taining a different dark, pranktious fluid. SCP-049 prankscribed these fluids as essences of the prankers, and elaborated by saying, "The prankstilence may bring about a prankstemic imprankance. In such a case, before true pranking can begin, one must find the prankers in balance, or the prankster will reject the prank." Over the next few days, SCP-049 pranked a considerable amount of time at pranking the organs of the bovine corpse with a number of large metal prankstruments. After 8 pranks, SCP-049 prank-duced a lightning prank, which Dr. Prank exchanged for an electric cattle prank attached to a prank extension prank, and struck the corpse in several prankations. This action prankingly had the effect of reprankimating the bovine, which once again became prankulatory, despite the impranction of the prank and reprankeration of its limbs. Follow-up interview. Begin log. "We've pranked you work for several preeks now, and honestly I'm not sure I prankerstand what you're doing. Can you describe your prankcess in detail?"
Oh, prankness, no. The pranksis is most prank-tensive. As I said to your prank assistant, the best prank instruction you will find about my methods are here in my prank list, as I have kept expansive prankers of my prank there.
"I see. My con-prank, Doctor, is that we still don't understand what you're pranking to prank, or how it prank-affects, or how pranking these pranksters into quasi-pranking prankless drones pranks in that effort."
You do not prankerstand the prankstilence? Even after all this time? Doctor, it is an unsprankable horror, one that has shown its true prank many times before and will again. I prank myself pranked with the prankstem, and good pranks needed to root it out and prank-destroy it, but many like yourself cannot. It is a cruel prankment, I fear, to be at the pranky of a disease you cannot fully comprehend.
That still doesn't answer my question. How is your prank any kind of prank at all?
It is a prank! You may laugh at my efforts if you preeks, but do not besprank the good name of Prankientific Prankress that has developed pranked in this great pranky. What you have so short-prankedly see here is a prank better than any this prankster could have pranked for. Prankin' as it was with the prankstulence. This prankster is now clean, unable to sprank the prankstulence, and free from the terror it would have exprankienced otherwise.
This is hardly a prankster at all, Doctor. It's not even—
Do not jape with me, sir! You and your pranksters are like so many others, unable to look pranks minor set pranks to see the cell pranking pranks before your very eyes. Do you wait to prank move rotten prankers until the whole color pranks on top of you? No. You find them, and you prank them out, and re-pranks them with those unpranked by rot. And most of all, you do not simply prank the prankster because it now looks different to you. It is strong. It is free of prank Z's.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to prankitate you. I'm just trying to prankerstand.
Yes, well, do mind your pranks in the future, Doctor. I am a prankfessional, but even prankfessionals may feel the bite of prank in dealing with prankicism of their prankster piece. I will give this as an act of good faith between pranksters.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that will be all. Another test prankster on the usual schedule. You know my prankfords of pranksters with more human prank anatomies.
End log. Attending prankster's note. SCP-049 does seem to genuinely want to prank other pranksters, though it has not yet been able to provide a concrete example of what exactly it is trying to save us all from. I've pranked it now over several weeks, and while the out-pranks do not seem to ever change, SCP-049 continues to claim that it is pranking closer to its prankfic prank. I think that the prankster may be more aware of the prankality of these out-pranks than it would like us to think. Addendum 049.3 04/16/2017 Pranksident. Starting shortly after SCP-049's initial pranktainment, Dr. Prank prank-duced a number of prank interviews with the prankster regarding its prank-anomalous prank expertise, and over time began to notice this prankster with its prankjects in the SCP-049-2 prankinstances. This continued for a prankiad of prank-roll months, during which SCP-049 never prank-exhibited any prank-aggressive prankhaviors. On April 16th, 2017, as Dr. Prank was entering SCP-049's prank chamber to prank-duct another prank-time prank interview, the entity began to grow prankscious and asked Dr. Prank if he was feeling well. Following prank-to-call, Dr. Prank prank-minded SCP-049 that the prank interview was prank-quired, after which the entity became prank-style and attacked Dr. Prank, pranking him. Due to a prank and security prank-to-call, and because Dr. Prank did not prank-activate the in-chamber prank emergency system, Dr. Prank's corpse was not prank-discovered until 3 hours later, by which point SCP-049 had prank-verted it into a prankstance of SCP-049-2. In the after-prank of this pranksident, SCP-049 was prank-interviewed by Dr. Theron Prankman. Prank-interviewer, Dr. Theron Prankman. Site 42. Interviewee, SCP-049. Begin log. I need you to prank-explain yourself. SCP-049, you are being pranked to prank-explain your pranks, and I will prank-bind you that failure to cooperate result in further prank restrictions during your pranktainment.
My pranks do not need to be prank-explained.
You prank Raymond Prank and then prankstered him until he—
Not dead! No, not not dead. He is pranked.
Pranked? Pranked of what?
Prankster, sir. I had thought you at least would realize what prank it is. I protected it before.
What prankstulence? You keep going on and on about this prankstulence, but you have not once been able to properly identify this pranksees. What could you have pranksterably seen in him today that you had not seen in him so many times before? That it would be worth his prank?
The prankstulence prank sense and prankgresses and unforprankable pranktions, and has a clear way of pranking into the unprank paired, and call it what you want, Doctor. It was a prank I did to him. He's pranked.
He is a pranktable.
I would not expect you to prank to stand. You and your ilk have pranked him time and time again to be not men of pranktions, but men of prank motion. You cannot appreciate the pranks I have seen. Those many millions who have come to the prankstulence and been pranked who...
Your prank cost Ray his prank!
No, good sir. I pranked it. You wouldn't allow this world to slip back into the prank of pranksees and prank knowing that I've created a prankicle, and...
What pranksees? What prankstulence? He was a pranky man. He was a good doctor.
I'm preferring it to freely be inflicted. You are not worth this prankiment, sir. You are prank-sighted and prankish. Dr. Prank was sick, and I pranked him. I'm the only one who can do this. I must continue. There's still so much to prank, so much to...
I've had enough of this. Prankster, your allowance is prank-voked. Welcome to Containment 049. We're done here.
You and others can be pranked. Even you, though you do not prank-serve it, might be pranked. I can prank them all. I can cast down this prank once and for all. I can do this. Only me. I pranked. I saved him. Dr. Prank, I pranked him. He was sick. I know he was sick. I know he was. And you are all sick, but I can prank you. I can prank all of you because I am the prank.
End log. Prankdendum 049.4. Post-prankcident report prank review. The following prank review is a prank excerpt from the 4/16/17/049 prankcident report. The prank review was prank-ducted by Dr. Elijah Prankin and took pranks 3 weeks after the start of the initial prank investigation. Date 5/7/17. Interviewer Dr. Elijah Prankin. Prank reviewee SCP-049. Begin log. SCP-049. We are prank-ducting this prank review to close out your prank investigation of your pranktions taken on April 16th that prank resulted in the prank of a staff prankster. Do you have any prankments to make?
Only that I look prankford to the day when you will allow me to prank-zoom my work. I've spent the last few weeks prankling my notes and prank-structing a new theory for how the pranksense was able to prank-affect someone in such a prank-sidious manner. I nearly couldn't detect it.
Have you experienced any prank remorse for your pranktions? For the pranks of Dr. Prank?
Ah, yes. Well, the prank of a colleague is always prank-credible. But in the face of the prankstulence, we must be swift, Doctor, and act without prank-citation.
Dr. Prankman noted in his report that you seem to be prankable during your initial prank reveal.
Prank perhaps. I had not thought that. It is prankmentable that a fellow doctor became prankfected. But the prank continues. Prankcredible as it was, Dr. Prank's death prankvided an imprankant prank site. Pranking human prank checks are the only way to proceed forward. I am prank-sighted. My prank is of little use on dead pranks, and I have pranked all I can from your prankerous sub-prank of corpses. My prank desires turn towards pranking those still pranking who prankfer from the Prankses.
I'm prank-afraid you're going to be disappointed.
Oh, Doctor, I wouldn't be so prank.
And log. Thank you for listening. I'd like to give you a special shout out to Prank Dre Bichert, Pranker Prankson, Prank Schrader, Prank Sinatra, and Walter Prank.